Myanmar's military appears to be preparing to hold parliamentary elections, but it has imposed strict new rules which could hinder political parties who wish to run in the poll, which could take place later this year. Now, existing parties and would-be parties will have just 60 days to register with the Election Commission or face dissolution. Now, those that the army deems as unlawful or to have alleged links with so-called terrorist organizations will be barred from joining the race. Political factions who intend to compete nationwide must have a minimum of 100,000 members within 90 days of their election registration being granted. They will also be required to set up offices in at least half of the 330 townships within 180 days. Now, to run, they would need to deposit some $43,000 in the Myanmar Economic Bank. Now, that is 100 times more than the amount stipulated in previous elections. These new rules have the potential to block the Aung San Suu Kyi-led National League for Democracy party. Ms. Suu Kyi has been sentenced to more than 33 years behind bars, and many of her party's key leaders, they are in hiding or they are in jail. The United States, EU, and other nations have raised doubts about how free and fair any upcoming polls could be, especially after the military coup nearly 2 years ago derailed the country's long trek to democracy. Global pressure has been mounting on Myanmar's army to end the violence and restore democracy in the country, though efforts to gain compliance have largely fallen on deaf ears. We spoke with Professor Thitinan Pongsudhirak from the Institute of Security and International Studies at Chulalongkorn University, and he told us why these new rules are being issued.
There's a nationwide revolt, a civilian opposition coalition against the military. And the military is not having a great day. I mean, there's a lot of death toll, a lot of casualties, sufferings. And, it's like the military has pulled the plug on Myanmar's reform and opening and progress. So people are very angry and they're fighting indefinitely. And I think the battlefield balance is shifting. Certainly, the military can last a long time of guns and armor and tanks and air power, but the people also, the NUG, the parallel government, the People's Defense Forces, they're very fierce and they're determined to see this through. So the regional neighborhoods and the international community should start thinking about how to maybe recognize the opposition government, because now they're gaining more ground, more recognition, and the military knows it. That's why it's trying to arrange all this hasty electioneering process in order to present some kind of legitimate government. There's a big challenge to overcome this coup, to have a legitimate representative government of the people through a democratic process like they had for 10 years. But at the same time, it's going to be hard to dial back that era now, because a lot of the ethnic areas are very violent, unruly, and unstable. And it's possible that we could see this is a long-term situation where Myanmar is disunited, disorganized, with a lot of violence. Nevertheless, I think in the near term, we have to try to move forward with some kind of pressure, more pressure on the military to make concessions and to recognize, I think, as a leverage, the opposition coalition, NUG, and so on, in order to have some kind of dialogue. And ASEAN should be doing a much better job. Otherwise, there's really no way forward here.